that you need to build the connection with your audience to build that trust, which I agree. And what they don't say, I mean, I agree to an extent, because what they don't tell you is that connecting feels different when you have learned early on to like adapt without attaching. I move schools growing up a lot. In my primary school, I think I moved about 4 times. And then in my secondary school, so high school, middle school, high school, I think if you guys call it over in stateside, like 3 times. And so doing, I had to learn to reintroduce myself, starting over, like doing all those things, fitting in, doing all those bits and bobs that one gets to do it in my own way, because then I was still my shy area and all those things. But I learned to do all those things without actually expecting anything to be permanent, expecting any, you know, whatever to like to happen. And when I see people go like, oh, this is my best friend from I don't know, high school, or we've been this, or like this is like my a friend now that we're done work together or business, we're now like so close. It is so hard for me. So when they're always talking about connection, the DM, have the thing, I am one of those people that, it's one of these things like it's hard to say that I don't know if who else feels this way. Like one of those things like, no. Like when you say it like or okay, the reason why I say this, like somebody else, I read something open threads where someone mentioned how they don't have friends. And in their adulthood, like whatever it is, I'm like, I feel like me too, kind of like thing. I was like, it's one of those things that, people don't believe or no, when I say believe, it's like something that I don't like you don't say out loud. But when you do, a lot of people resonate, if that makes sense, you know? Because even now, I can't say this is my bestie or this is like my whatever, but I do have people who have become close, but we still have that connection with like learning or with coaching or with something. It hasn't bled into, let's just go hang. Let's just, let's just while away time. I used to have this funny thing where I love the outings that we go through here because I don't really go places like that. It's like any parties, any things like that. It's either family, friends, or I'm tagging along with my husband because he has like his friend groups. He still has friends from primary that when they come over, he'll go hang with them. Like people from secondary, they have this bond thing. And I don't have that. One of the funny things, even with my kids, like, and it's one of the things I try to nurture that for them and try to keep a stability of not moving so they can nurture and build that. So one of my kids had a game, right? And because he was performing and everything, and he was one of anyway, he had a game, it was competition. It was and had tickets. And I was like, okay, they're wondering, and okay, when are we getting these tickets? And then the next thing he said, oh, I gave it to my day one. I'm like, what the heck's day one? It's like his friends that have been with him from the beginning of his journey into this thing. I'm like, what? I had to remind him. They might be your day one. We're your day zero. Okay? We're your day zero. We get to be there if they need to hang some other time. But this one, that is like a high, your day zeros are coming with you. And yeah, we got to see him. It was fun and everything. But it was just got me thinking, like, my goodness, my kid has a day one. And mama doesn't even have it. you know? Yeah, it's really peculiar to really connect and to say, this is my person, or where that, even like some people, like my husband, right? He has some friends that even if they've not spoken for years, whatever, they connect, they're locked in, and they hang and they do stuff. And yeah, I kind of like miss that, not having that ability to say this is my person or whatever. And I remember a couple of years ago, I made it like a conscious thing that I wanted to have adult friends. And I think I kind of like did it with the coaching thing that group that I was in, and I started having some people that now I have. It's online and they're far away, and yeah, where we don't just talk about that stuff. We also talk about other things and plan to meet up or whatever it is, or even if we're meeting up for something, we'll have like an extra day or whatever. Somewhat. So I'm thinking that's a way. And I've had my hairdresser now for a couple of years, and she's looked after my hair, and I'm grateful for, and the hairline's coming back. And I'm like tagging along that lady. Like sometimes, like, so she also does events. And I remember just hanging, like, oh yeah, I'll be one of your whatever. It's just to kind of like hang out and just be like, yeah, I have a friend. And I feel like we've gone past that because she invites me for events and things like that. And it's cool. But at the same time, I see her like you can see who are her like her core friends. Like they go on holiday together. They what's the word? They go hanging, and then when it's hanging with me, it's like, yeah, it's just when you have that belief, not I guess it's an underlying belief, or it's like, oh, I don't need to attach because anything can happen, and then is it's that's it. We're we're on our own. So like, and this is the thing. I can rock into a room. I can like just sat now. I can just create conversation and really fit in, get people engaged and stuff like that. And then I can just leave and that'll be it. Like, and it's learning to, on learning that behavior and start nurturing, okay, how can we then start building like really brands in not just in a particular area, but like connection that can go beyond, this is my person, or like we can just talk or whatever. Yeah, it's something that's always been a shame. And like, even like, I was like, man, you don't have any friends. I mean, now I can laugh about it, but then it used to be like something that would be like so sad. And like, I feel sorry for myself, like, oh, I don't have that feeling. But it's a working thing. I'm on learning that. I'm working on how to go past that. To now, it's a case of when they say, yeah, just like connecting a DMs, like, babe, I can learn what to say or like whatever. But I have to like get my nervous system to be okay that we're like, and when I'm with someone, right, I'm like my presence, I'm there, and I'm like being supportive, cheerleading, and connecting. And when I come back, and I want to like transfer that into personal things, not just this area. So for the longest time, when they kept saying like, just nurture, just have conversation, do stuff, it was hard for me to just, yeah, I'm not good with small talk, or not even necessarily small talk or whatever, but like just beauty. But now I think I'm getting to that point where now I am able to just check in or whatever that is. Yeah. And I'm still working on finding ways I can connect and say, yes, I have this friend that is not just because we're in a community together or we're doing this thing together, but it's now, we're now this kind of friend too. We'll just hang, we'll just spend a weekend just lounging or go grab thing or have whatever that is and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm in that process of just unlearning what the idea of closeness is. It doesn't always have to end. Is the season I'm in. Because I always feel like, yeah, we've done a thing, hi, and then off. But yeah, so on learning that, we can still be close. Close doesn't mean that once this thing's over, that means me and you, we're good. We can still keep riding. We can still keep at it and making it work in that sense. And yeah, I guess I'm just in a season of, nothing's wrong with me. I just need, I get to train myself and learn this different skill set of this friendship thing, learning this skill of how to make friends that go beyond the mundane. Is it work or is it we're doing something together, whatever, but it goes into other places and other things. And yeah, it can be learned, it can be retrained. I'm changing that mindset of like, we don't need to detach it. It doesn't have to end. We can do stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like what, something that I don't always say out loud and where I'm at. Yes, it's odd. But learning that closeness never ends. Doesn't need to end. Where we can keep it on. And yeah, it's just a reflective thing that I'm just wanted to like just talk about that. That's kind of like something that I'm currently working on alongside other things as I move on. Get into this phase of being because it's all about a connection. And I think being in this season, because I've always been very closed off from the beginning in the sense that this is what we're here for. And that's why in the beginning, like I guess that's why I confused a lot of people that people didn't realize that I was married and I didn't realize I had kids because it was very like, this is what we're talking about and that's it. Like you knew nothing. And I think it was just how I was. I had trained myself or conditioned myself, not necessarily, not even trained. So just I've been conditioned because of like, I go places. I shared earlier in a previous, not previous, excuse me, in a video where I went into a place, I spent a year. I accidentally learned a language out of just, I went to a boarding school in one of this occasion and when I went there, the only reason they allowed me to stay in the room is as long as I didn't understand the language they were speaking. And that was fine. But over time, you start picking language. I think that's why I became an interpreter. I started picking like a few phrases here and there and started understanding the conversation. And at the same time, was learning how to be just kind of like, don't give nothing away. So when I went home and I was free, and there was no restriction. When someone spoke to me, I just gave them and spoke the language. And my parents were like, "Oh, is that what you went to that school to go and learn? Oh, we're not going there again." So this is me going after the term. Bye all. See you next time. Don't forget, like connect and make friends and everything. And then we're told, no, you're not going back there. And this is back in the day where you didn't have cell phones and whatever, or to connect, or even names. So there was no way to like say hi and like find another ways to connect, because it was even a different state. It wasn't even local that you say, or you see them around, and then plunked into another place, another school, another new sets of people to get a new system and like how they do stuff. So yeah, I just got conditioned to just be like, I might not come back here next time. Who knows where I'll be? So it's all good, but it's been fun while it lasted. Not that we had that conversation, but in my head, it was just kind of like, there is no point being so close to you because I might not see you next time. I might not see you, whatever. And yeah, that was I think that's how I was conditioned to just be somewhere, but not be in a way. And like, yeah, because you never know what would happen. And it's like, oh no, we're shipping you off somewhere else, kind of like thing. And yeah, so I'm in that season as we go along of reconditioning myself with this new skill set of finding ways to connect and build friendship and stuff like that. And I think I'm getting better and we're working. Some of them don't know that we're like this. In my head, we're like this, but we're like that. But yeah, it's all good. And yeah, if you're in that phase as well, like, look, nothing is wrong with you, nothing wrong with us. We get to like, if that's what we want now, we can make it happen. We can like rejig it to be like, yeah, we need that person that we can then say, okay, that's my that's me person there, right? And whatever that is. Anyway, we do this every single day, right? Nana here. Remember, your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.